Shalom. All praises go to the Most High Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shabbat Shem Kakadash. Double honor sent to the elder apostles, a great millstone for the teachings of the scriptures, among other things. Shalom to the sincere Akim across the world. Now, this is another kind of visually like spiritual movie to watch to kind of give you a indication of, a hint of to what is going to come to these Edomites, man, right? Because the Heavenly Father will send spectrals, which are basically ghosts, apparitions. Okay, right? Spectral of a ghost, ghostly, and also apparitions. Ghost or ghost-like image of a person. That's an apparition. And going to the appearing, it appears out of nothing. The action of appearing, ghosts appear like that. Phantom ghosts, spectrums, wraiths, which are more horrible looking. Like, these type of things. Deformed faces and stuff like that. Now, this is going to come to Egypt, and modern day Egypt is America. Now, this is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 15, verse 11. But like here I say, by the way, this is the movie. The name of the movie is Spectral. It's on Netflix. I don't know if y'all have Netflix. Luckily for me, I know somebody that has Netflix. Give me the code. So, but I watched this because I watched this before I had that Netflix thing. I rather download my movies so I can have it for for longer periods and put it on a hard drive, because I don't know when this internet is gonna shut off, so I still have the movies, right? So now this is it, right? 2nd Ezra chapter 15 verse 11. I start at 10. Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt, but I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues, as before. So when in time is Egypt smitten with plagues again, and will destroy all the land thereof. The land of Egypt is not, all of the land is not destroyed until this day. It's talking about modern day Egypt, which is America. And you can see that, for example, just one example, there's many. You got the pyramid on the dollar bill, that's one, symbolically representing Egypt. And you have Washington Monument, which is this, the Egyptian obelisk, right? And what does the word monument mean? Monument means, definition, statue, remind. That is what a monument means. Because what do you see when you have you have a statue of this devil? What does it mean when you see it? It reminds you of something. You have statues of this guy. What does it mean? It reminds you of something. So a monument is basically something that when you look at it, it reminds you. Wait, let me see. Wait. Right. This is an actual statue. I think it's called the statue of Roosevelt or something. Forgot this guy. Forgot this guy in his name. I think it's Rosenfeld. And it's according to the scriptures, because they made this to remind themselves that they are the ones on horses right now, which is a servant. And then you have the princes walking upon on the planet Earth as servants. That's in Ecclesiastes 10, if I'm correct. Yeah. Ecclesiastes 10, which is not the book of Sirach, but just Ecclesiastes. Not Cuss, Ecclesiasticus. It is Ecclesiastes 10 and 7. I have seen servants upon horses, and princes walking as servants upon the earth. So they made this statue on purpose, just to basically mess with us. But that's all good, because here they did it again. And they arrested this guy and made him walk, and they was on their horses, and they had their fun. But hey, They have their fun now. Now, laugh now, cry later, right? Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 17. Now, this is an event which is not documented in all of their movies and stuff like that. All the movies about Egypt and Moses and stuff like that, they didn't mention nothing about it, right? Because there were actually apparitions that came. That's it. For these things that came and scared the Egyptians unto death. And the Heavenly Father is going to unleash those creatures again. This time they're going to be tearing up stuff. Now, this is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 10, verse 17, verse 1. For great are thy judgments, and cannot be expressed. Therefore, unnurtured souls have erred. What is erred? Erred is error, making a mistake. And unnurtured are people that are not nurtured in this word. Unnurtured is the opposite of being nurtured, right? And what is nurtured? Care and protection. Care for and protection, So, basically, unnurtured souls, unprotected souls, souls that have not been nurtured with this wisdom have erred. They made mistakes. For when unrighteous men, is talking about the Egyptians. For when unrighteous men thought to oppress the holy nation, which are the Israelites, they ain't being shut up in their houses. They are the unrighteous men. The prisoners of darkness. Because in Egypt you had darkness for, that was one of the plagues of darkness, right? One of the 10 plagues. And feathered with the bonds of a long night. So it was a nighttime. And what is feathered? Feathered is restrained with chains or manacles, typically around the ankles. Manacles are things, how you keep prisoners and stuff like that. And chains, you already know what that is, right? I think you know. I hope you know. Right, verse 3. For while they stopped to lie, hid in their secret sins. And what were those secret sins? Well, it's going to explain. Let me read it. Let me see. Wait. Yeah. I already read it. They oppressed the holy nation. They enslaved them. So, and what were those secret sins? They think they can get away with it. That's the point. Zechariah, just like the Edomites today. Now, this is double fold, by the way. Now, this is the new Egypt, which is America, in 2nd Esdras chapter 15. And this happened in the old Egypt, but it's going to happen again in the new Egypt, because the Lord said, First, 2nd Esdras 15 and 11. But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and will smite Egypt with plagues as before. So he's going to do this. So that means the second time, right? And I will destroy all the land thereof. He's going to destroy America. And so it says here, where is it again? So oppress the holy nation, right? Zechariah chapter 2 verse 8. For thus saith Yahweh, the Lord of hosts, the power of hosts. Host means army. After the glory had he sent me unto the nations. Sent who? Zechariah. Was sent unto the nations which spoiled you, which spoiled us. The nation of Israel. They oppressed us. They robbed us. Enslaved us. Raped our women, babies, children, boys, girls, men. Everything. Okay? For he that toucheth you, toucheth the apple of his eye. So it's gonna be a problem for you Edomites, man. It's gonna be a problem for you Edomites. For while they supposed to lie hid in their secret sins, they were scattered under the dark veil of forgetfulness. They kind of forgot what was going on, what they did. They kind of forgot about it. And I think in the next chapter is where you see that they basically know that they did something wrong to our people, because all the people that actually enslaved us were dead. They was over 400 years ago. They was dead. So the Heavenly Father will catch your descendants, which is good for you. You've been benefiting off of it, and you didn't let them go. So guess what? You're to be blamed too, and you are your ancestor. Going on. Right, and being horribly astonished, astonished and astonished, something like that. Greatly surprised, amazed, and troubled with strange apparitions. What are those apparitions? I just showed you. Did I click it away? Yeah, I clicked define wraith. Apparitions, you know, ghosts, which goes into wraiths also. A ghost or ghost-like image of someone, especially one seen shortly before or after their death. And a wraith is very not beautiful. Very not beautiful. You see, you have ghostly apparitions. They could just come and be beautiful and stuff like that. You have that. Wait. Right, you have that. You know, they're not that beautiful. Sorry, what did I say? I think I said yeah. They, you have the ones that can be beautiful, and you have the ones that can look more horrible than this. Right. So it says there was trouble with apparitions, right? For neither might the corner that held them keep them from fear, because they was backed up in a corner in their houses. But noises as of water falling down sounded about them. You know, waterfall is very loud, and rain and stuff like that. You know, and sad visions appeared unto them with heavy countenance. That's what I just showed you. That's a sad vision, which is a dead demon with heavy countenance, man. You know, with heavy countenance. I just saw one. Where was it? Where was it? I saw it. Oh yeah, here. I saw this actually. You know, crazy stuff like that. Probably would not want to see that, man. And you know, stuff like this. You know, this. You don't want to see stuff like that, man. But guess what? You Edomites will. Because we about to be up in that time. You're going to see stuff like this, man. You Edomites. You know? Y'all going to see stuff like this. Since y'all love painting these things, making movies and stuff like that. So you're going to get what you deserve going on. For neither might the corner that held them keep them from fear, but noises as of water falling down sounded about them, and sad visions appeared unto them with heavy countenances. And countenances is talking about faces, a person's face or facial expression. So them faces that I just showed you, you don't want to see that, man. No power of the fire might give them light, because it was in the time of the plague of darkness. So not even fire could give them light, which would go into sight. Neither could the bright flames of the stars endure to lighten that horrible night. Even the stars, they couldn't see the stars. That's how dark it was. You could feel the thickness, as it is written in the book of Exodus somewhere, concerning the things that happened in Egypt. You know, I think it was around 15, 16, 17 or something in Exodus, somewhere around there. Only there appeared unto them a fire kindled of itself. So it was a fire that was sparking of itself, like poof, poof, poof. And we know that is Yahweh Bashem Yahushai just playing around with them. Very dreadful, scary. For being, now the word dreadful is not a normal scared. Causing or involving great suffering, fear or unhappiness, extremely bad or serious, terrible, frightful, horrible, grim, awful, dire, shocking, outrageous. You know what I'm saying? Right. Now it says, for being much terrified, they thought the things which they saw to be worse than the sight they saw not. So that fire that they saw, they thought that was because they couldn't see nothing else because it was dark. But the fire that they saw, they thought that was worse than the things that they didn't see. And the things that they didn't see were the things that they was hearing, all the noises round about them, right? As for the illusions of art of magic, because you got to remember they had art of magic and their illusions and stuff like that, because Mo the pharaoh, his staff, the two staffs of the pharaoh, of his witches, his little magicians, they could turn those sticks into two snakes, and they can also conjure up frogs. They can do that. They had that magic. They could do those things, right? So they had those things, right? As for the illusion of art magic, they were put down, and their vaunting in wisdom was disproved, was reproved with disgrace. They it was disproved because of the, and there was a shame, man. Vaunting is boasting, a boastful nature, and disgrace. You already know it's like like you have been disgraced. Loss of reputation or respect as a result of a dishonorable action. So all their tough talking about their great magic, it was put down, man. And their tough talking and wisdom and stuff like that, arrogance, was basically put to shame. Because the Most High did this. Micah chapter 5, verse. I'll just get to the point. I'll just start here. Micah 5 and 10. And it shall come to pass in that day, saith Yahweh, that I will cut off thy horses out of the midst of thee. So all your vehicles. Nowadays is vehicles. That's why they measure cars with horsepower. Because this happened back then, and it's gonna happen again. Even Esau said history repeats itself. And he knows, because he sees it repeating itself the whole time. We're kind of almost in an infinite loop. And that infinite loop is about to be full circly, infinitely like, and then it stops, and then a new chapter will begin, which will be the new Jerusalem, the new world, which is the same old world, but everything will be renewed, right? And I will destroy your chariots, and I will cut off the cities of thy land, and throw down all thy strongholds. And I will cut off witchcraft out of thine hand. So the Most High is going to throw that nonsense down. And thou shalt have no more soothsayers, which are also witches. You know, a person's supposed to be able to foresee the future, but because they work with spirits, that's why. Thy graven images also will I cut off, and thy standing images out of the midst of thee. Those graven images, a graven image is an something carved, graved. No. Engraved. Yeah, that goes into digging, but you have these graven images that they have. These things. All these things. How can I explain this? Basically, those. Let me get this right here on graven images. Micah 5. Micah 5. Micah 5 and yeah, the graven images, right? Hebrews 64:56. Idol, image, image, idol, graven image, stone. You got wood. It's just made of wood here, huh? Right. You got the woody ones and stuff like that. Thy graven images also will I cut off, and thy standing images, so the ones that are on the ground and stuff like that, and your standing ones out of the midst of thee, and thou shalt no more worship the work of thine hands, your own hands, man. You know. And I will pluck up thy groves out of the midst of thee. So will I destroy thy cities. And groves are going into the woods where they do sacrifices and stuff like that, nature. Where they do sacrifices and stuff like that, in the woods. It was reported that Aleister Crowley, 6 months ritual. Where was it? It was in the woods. Now this house, if you see this house, you will see it's in the woods. I think they burned it or something. Yeah, they burned it down because they knew the fucking demon shit was doing going on around there, play. They burned that shit down. Even the Edomites be looking at that shit like, oh, Satan. Yeah, they burned it, man. They was like, no. Led Zeppelin and they, let me not dwell upon this too much. The point is that is near the woods, and he was in there in the woods for 6 months. He was in the grove for 6 months doing this preparation, and he couldn't really keep it going on. Mm, and sex magic and stuff like that, and rituals. But I don't want to focus on him right now. Those are the groves. In the woods you go do witchcraft. And also this guy named what was his name again? There's this magician, Dynamo. Yeah, which is also in England, by the way. His friends goes to say that the friend left to the woods incomplete. So this guy, his friend snitched on him. His friend said, "Yo, this guy, he went to the woods and he stayed there for a month or two or something, and then when he came back, he had all these powers." You think these things are a joke? Why do you think that people go to the? Why do you think that people go to the Bohemian Grove? Why do you think that these Edomites go into the forest and then they do their little rituals and stuff like that? Why do you think they go there? Stay out the woods, man. Man is not supposed to be dwelling in the woods. Those are places for spirits. Don't go over there, especially seeking stuff. If you go over there to seek whatever hunting or there's something else. But if you go there and you go at nighttime in the dark and start praying, boy, you looking for trouble, right? Now it says here, and I will execute. So the Most High is going to destroy all their magic, and I will execute vengeance in anger and fury upon the heathen, such as they have not heard. And that's what the Heavenly Father is about to do upon these Edomites. Isaiah chapter 14, verse 5. Yahweh had broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers, right? The power of the rulers, and basically they're in staff there. They're in witchcraft. Isaiah 47 and 12. Stand now with thine enchantments and the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. So since Esau was a nation, they was doing these things. If so be, thou shalt be able to profit. The Most High is mocking you right now because you're not going to win. If so be, thou mayest prevail. Basically, it's like telling a girl, "Go, girl, you can do it. Women are strong too. You can fight Mike Tyson. Yeah, yeah, I could do it. Yeah." You're just hyping you up. You're hyping yourself up, man. Because if you do that to women, they actually think that they can fight you. If you keep on telling them for a long time, they will believe it. I have seen these things, man. They really believe that they can fight you. As long as you keep on telling them, "Yeah, you're equal. You could do things too. You could throw them things. You could throw them things." And then they throw and miss, and then somebody throws back, and then they're on the ground, man. Telling you like, "You going to jail now? You going to jail now?" Stuff like that, and you be looking at them like, "But you're the one that swung on me. You thought you got hyped up, man. Your hype man, he don't hyped you up." Now is Wisdom of Solomon chapter 17 verse 7. As for the illusion of art magic, they were put down, and their vaunting in wisdom was a reproof with disgrace. For they that promised to drive away terrors and troubles from a sick soul, because they was boasting of how great they are at healing people, were sick themselves of fear, worthy to be laughed at. Right, because nowadays Esau got all these how you call those things, medical things, and swearing up and down that they can help you, which you're not even allowed to be swearing. But they're telling you that science and we haven't done research, and we have done research on this but not on that and this and that. They jumping up and down talking about how they can heal you, but they themselves will not be healed from the upcoming beating that they will get and deserve, which were sick themselves of fear. worthy to be laughed at. For though no terrible thing did fear them, yet being scared with beasts that passed by, and hissing of serpents, they died for fear. They got heart attacks, man. Denying that they saw the air. They wasn't even trying to look around. They was denying they was denying everything around them. Like, "No, it's not real. It's all in my head." And they was losing it, man. And they was dying, which is good. And that's gonna happen to the Edomites too, man. You know? Because that is what they deserve. It happened to the Egyptians when they enslaved us. So it's going to happen to Esau too. It says it right here, right? Which could of no side be avoided. You can't avoid looking around, man. Are you mad? Are you going to keep your eyes closed for no, you're not going to do that. Ain't nobody can do that. You're going to want to see. So you can run a different route or something. But with your back against the wall, where you think you're going to go? You can't see nothing. For wickedness condemned by her own witness, right, is very timorous, right? Timorous, showing or suffering from nervousness or lack of confidence. So guess what? Where was I? Yeah, for wickedness, because they did wicked. Condemned by their own witness. Why? Because they enslaved the children of Israel. So they are condemned by their own conscience. Is very timorous, and I just had that, which is showing or suffering from nervousness or lack of confidence, right? In the things that was going on right now, they had no confidence whatsoever. By the way, right, going on, and being pressed with conscience always forecasteth grievous things, right? They was pressed with their own conscience, and if you have no basically faith within yourself, then you can only forecast grievous things upon yourself. For fear is nothing else. This is the explanation of verse 11. Well, the thing that you need to do, by the way. For fear is nothing else but a betraying of the succors which reason offereth. Because basically succors means security and assistance, support in times of hardship and distress, right? So fear is nothing but the betraying of the support that common sense offers. If they had common sense, they would know that, but they have no common sense because they enslaved the nation of Israel. Pieces of shit. So if you had common sense, you wouldn't do that, because you know that if you do wicked, you will receive wicked, right? But if they had common sense, they would know that it was just water. And it was entities with heavy countenance. Yeah, that's I'm not gonna put that one aside, because that's might be scary as shit. But guess what? You have a spirit within you. So you being scared of a ghost while you have a ghost within you, as that makes no sense. You're stupid. You're being scared of something that didn't even touch you. It just looks horrible, you know. And they was also scared of birds. Well, it's gonna explain, but for fear is nothing else than but a betrayer of secures, which reason offereth, and the expectation within, the things that you expect within, being less because of your betrayal of yourself, of security, countened the ignorance more than the cause which bringeth the torment. Right. So it was actually not a big deal, because the unknowing of what reason actually brought upon them, they kind of didn't want to actually hear that. That is what actually caused them more torment. Their ignorance, because they was unknowing. Stupid, basically. Well, lack of knowledge. But they sleep in the same what? But they sleep in the same sleep that night, which was indeed intolerable. They couldn't take it. And which came upon them out of the bottoms of the inevitable hell, which is the reason why it says inevitable hell, is because every inevitable is something that it's going to happen, certain to happen, unavoidable, a situation that is unavoidable. Now the inevitable hell is talking about the grave, the inevitable death. Death is inevitable for now. Once Yahushua comes back, he's going to give the Israelites immortality and the rest of the world not. Verse 50. Y'all have y'all eternal life right now. You living in beauty, right? 15. Were partly vexed with monstrous apparition. They was partly vexed with that. So one half was vexed of them, one vexed of a problem or issue, difficult and much debated, problematic, annoyed, frustrated, or worried. Right. So we're partly vexed with monstrous apparitions from the inevitable hell, and partly fainted. And what is fainted? For their hearts failing them. They was dying. Lose consciousness for a short time because of temporarily insufficient supply of oxygen to the brain. Grow weak or feeble. That's why back in the days you had them cartoons, and you had them cartoons back in the days with the knees buckling like, and then the knees would. What? Shaggy, he was always doing that. Shaggy was always doing that. It looks like Shaggy, but it doesn't really look like Shaggy. Shaggy scared. Shaggy scared. Shaggy. Shaggy and Scooby scared. They was always knocking on with them knees and I forgot. I know how that sound goes, but I can't duplicate it. But they was knocking boots basically. They was not knocking boots. They was knocking their knees together, which would then make a bony sound. Clack, 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 clack. I can't find it right now. Right, going on. Right, now it says they were partly vexed, this is scared shitless, and they was just fainting and dropping dead. Their heart failing them, they died. For a sudden fear, and not looked for. They was not expecting that. Came upon them. So then was whosoever there fell down was straightly kept, right? Whosoever fell down, when they fell down because of their chicken shitness, they was really scared. Straightly. A position of difficulty, perplexity, distress, or need. By the way, some of them, their heart was failing them, like some of them were dying, and some of them was just fainting, right? Because they were scared. So then whosoever there fell down was straitly kept, shut up in a prison without bars. And the prison, and what is the hardest prison on the planet Earth? Of course, you have the physical one, but the bigger one is the mental prison. The mental prison. You don't want to be locked up in your own mind, man. Have you ever seen like crazy people and you look at them and be like, God damn, you gone. Don't give me any plague but the plague of the mind. Yeah, heart. Heart. It's the book of Sirach, chapter 25 and 13. Give me any plague but the plague of the heart, which is the plague of the mind. And any wickedness but the wickedness of a woman. It's your baby. That's some wicked shit, man. You're taking care of another man's seed. Man, you want to kill that female, which is rightfully so. It's a good day, say. For whether he be husband, because they was shut up in the mind. There was prisoners in their own mind. They was going nuts, man. For whether he be for whether he were husbandman, which is planter of the vineyard, a farmer, or shepherds, or a laborer in the field, he was overtaken. So it was grabbing everybody. That madness in the head. And endured that necessity, which was necessity, which could not be avoided. They had to endure it. For they were all bound with one chain of darkness. The whole land of Egypt was bound. So all of them had to go through it. It was unavoidable, and they had to endure it, and it was necessary. Whether it were a whistling wind, or a melodious noise of birds among the spreading branches, cheep, cheep, chirp, chirp, and you had them branches that go like they was scared. Or a pleasing fall of water running violently. You know how water sounds, right? Or a terrible sound of stones cast down. There was rocks was falling upon each other. Or a running that could not be seen of skipping beasts. These animals was just running around. Or a roaring voice of most savage wild beasts. Or a rebounding echo from the hollow mountains. When all these echoes from the mountains. These things made them to swoon for fear. Now, what does the word swoon mean? Swoon goes into faint, especially from extreme emotions. It was too much, and they were gone. You know, for it says, "For the whole world shined with clear light, and none were hindered in their labor. Over them, the Egyptians, over them only was spread a heavy night," which is also symbolic because the Edomites are gonna have a bad time compared to all the other nations upon the planet Earth, man. An image of that darkness which should afterward receive them. This is the image that y'all gonna get. The image of that night was just darkness, but it was something to see as basically an omen, a prophecy to what you're really going to get. You're going to be in darkness. But yet were they unto themselves more grievous than the darkness. They made it all worse in their own mind, more worse than actually what was really going down. You know. So yeah, there you have it. This movie, Spectral. You can watch it, and then when you see them ghosts, then you can think like, oh, this is going to happen to Egypt. Of course, in the movie they win. Movie magic. But then in real life, you're not gonna win. You're not going to win. Oh yeah, and I wrote this also in the how you call that thing. I'm gonna put this in the description box about this movie. Let me read it real quick. I wanted to keep it under 30 minutes, but hey, it's 7 over. I'll try and keep it under 40. Actually, it will be more visual also, and also spiritual to make you understand spiritually, but see it visually. The things that I was talking about concerning in the movies, that you're gonna see it visually. What is how it's actually gonna take place? Because these specters are like what you call ghosts, but they will be mentioned as apparitions in the Bible, which means a ghost or ghost-like image of a person or action of appearing. But of course, in the movie, they win. And also in the movie and every movie of Egypt, Moses and such, you never see this part nor hear parts about ghosts that terrorize the Egyptians. That terrorized the Egyptians, oh, as they terrorized the Israelites, whom they enslaved. Right? You deserve that one. This is because the demonites, by the way, the modern day Egyptians, these demonites are liars. Edomites, I gotta change the name because, or else they're gonna take down my comment. So I gotta call them what they are. Demonites. Yeah, are liars. They're snake-tongued devils. Savages. Fucking cave beasts. And they are keeping the truth from you. They only show you bits and bits of the scriptures and they use it to their advantage. And this is what they say we do. These devils. Oh shit, where the hell did I? These devils are hilarious when it comes to how hard they can and are able to twist up things, man. They really do these things. Revelation 20:3. And cast him into the bottomless pit and shut him up and set a seal upon him. There's the Edomites. That he should deceive the Satan nations no more till 1,000 years should be fulfilled. And after that, he must be loosed a little season. That's about the time when he started deceiving people. Revelation 20:8, which is verse 8. I jumped 5 verses. And shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them, that's going into Russia, to gather them together to battle. World War III. the number of whom is as the sand of the sea. That's Armageddon, which is Armageddon 1, which is the mountain of troops. Yeah, Armageddon 1, something like that. I don't know if I pronounce it good. I need to go look it up again. It means the mountains of troops. It's Armageddon in the English. Now here is it shows you in Revelation chapter 20 verse 3 and 20 verse 8 that he was stopped at a certain point in time for 1,000 years, and that was in the time of 328 AD until around early 1400s AD, called the Renaissance. Now the Renaissance, and Renaissance means re is back, as in replay, again, which is that the same thing, again, or replay, back. And naissance is birth, born again, basically, rebirth, revival, renewal. And you probably never asked yourself why it's called Renaissance, rebirth. Well, now we know that they fell as the Roman Empire. What? Now we know that they fell as the Roman Empire fell. And then they went into the caves of Georgia, Russia, named the Caucasus Mountains, and the word Caucasian means cave dweller. And they stayed there from around 325 AD until early to a little bit in 1400 and stuff, like 1400. And the bigger bulk of them was in the caves, while the others were enslaved by the Moors, which are Israelites. And some of those Moors, their religion was Islam. Islam. And Arabs had them also in slavery too. Had them also as slave too. Right. Now it says here, and other nations had them also as slaves. Because when they was ruling as the Romans, they enslaved a lot of people. So they couldn't wait, like the people couldn't wait, for them to fall, which was around which was around 191 AD, but fully in 325 AD, they were really in the caves of the Caucasus Mountain, living like savage beasts with no language. A bunch of mammal snouts, a mammal mouth, mumbling motherfuckers, because they couldn't speak. They lost it. And it was now grunting and braying like the savage, non-civilized, satanic beasts that they truly are within. This is why you never hear history of the so-called Caucasian people, the Demonites, from the time of after the Roman Empire fell in 191. How do you say this? 100. I know how you say it, but then faster. 191. Yeah, that, or 191 to 325 AD until early to kind of late 1400, because then in 1492 they went to America, and from there you see they're teaching you their documented history of victory after victory after victory, etc. Then they start teaching you about their history, but before that they're silent. Why? Because they was in the caves raping animals. Now they marry them. So hey, unholy matrimony, right? But they never tell you what happened after the Roman Empire fell. By the way, you can find this in the book of Job. Job 30. About the caves part. Right? And but they never tell you what happened after the Roman Empire fell. See, this is why the internet is so good for information. It's the information highway, and of course, they put out false information also. Put out false info also to mask the good. But by the way, and the internet was figured out by was perfected by Philip Emeagwali, okay, which is an Israelite man, and you spelled his name like this. And if you type in if you type in Bill Clinton on Philip Imiguali, then you're going. Mm, then you're gonna see a video, right? I'll try and put it in the description box somewhere. If I know where to find it, but then right is good for information, and it is the information highway, and of course they are putting out false information also to mass the good. But we pray that we have that spiritual eye, self, in order to see what is truth and what is lie. Revelation chapter 3 verse 18 shows that we have literally permanent spiritual glasses on, like in the movie They Live. And yeah, be used. Use it for. Yeah, use it for information, because these females. No, I don't want to talk about that. It's just wasting my fucking time. Proverbs chapter 21 and 16. The man that wandereth out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead. So in the movie, they also explain, like, the movie They Live. You know why? Because they are the ones that are alive. Because if you're in the congregation of the dead, you're I mean, out of understanding, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because our people are dead. And what again? Oh yeah, Ezekiel 37 and 1 until 14. Right. Because our people are dead. They're spiritually dead from the neck up. They don't know what the fuck is going on. They don't know what the hell is going on. They're worrying about what is the next thing Takashi is gonna say. I'm not gonna lie. I looked it up. I never knew this dude. I always hated him. Never heard the song, and I'm proud of that. I don't listen to garbage. I know it's bullshit. I never heard him. I never know. I don't, if you play a song of him right now, I wouldn't know who that is. I'm sticking to the old school, and that's it. It's like a, it's like a, how you call that thing? A new bottle. I really want to keep it like that. I keep myself away from people like that, raps like that, female. I keep away from certain things, man. It's better for me, right? For my spirit, my soul. I don't want to get mingled up with these people. Now, I don't even hear your song replaying in my head. No. The reason they live, they, is because they are wiser than the children of light. So they walk in the light of darkness, but still the light which represent knowledge. This is why they say they are the Illuminati, which means light bearers. But light and darkness and light and wisdom of the but light and darkness and wisdom of darkness isn't light at all. Neither is it wisdom. It is cunning, sly, craftiness. But if you wise, you would know. You would know that there is a penalty for wicked deeds. Clearly, they're not wise. Revelation 22 and 12. And behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me, to give every man according as his work shall be. 2 Timothy 4 and 14. Alexander the coppersmith did me much evil. The Lord will reward him according to his works. So that's what y'all gonna get. And there's another scripture where it speaks about the children of light. I think I have it right here. Oh yeah, I got it right here. 2 Corinthians 5 and 10. For we must all appear before the judgment seat of Yahushua, that everyone may receive the things done in his body, the things that you did here on earth, according to that he had done. And also, if you mangle your body, for example, if you were an Israelite and you cut off your dick, you're not making it, man. It doesn't matter if you repent or not. You're not making it. Deuteronomy chapter 23, verse 1. He that is wounded in the stones, you nuts. Or has his private member cut off, you dick. So this your nutsack and this your dick. Cut off shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord. You're not making it, man. You mangled up your body and the things that you did within your body, like within your carnal flesh, to other people or to yourself. You know what I'm saying? So it says here that everyone may receive the things done in his body and to your body, according to that he had done, whether it be good or bad. Luke 16 and 8. And Yahweh commanded the unjust steward, which is like a stewardess, but then a man, because a stewardess doesn't exist. A woman is not to tend to your needs. A woman is to tend to her husband's needs. Because what happens when you have a stewardess? You're gonna fuck her. I bet your ass you will. Especially if you got money, you got power. You're gonna fuck her, man. Look at you walking around cute, got some short skirts on, and you know when you are in power, you do things like that, man. It shows you right here, and well, it's just one example. Um, they had an episode where it's sexual healing, and sexual healing. This episode, I'll put the link in the description box where you can get these South Park episodes just for free. It's free, good quality. So this is nothing bad. I think it's Honolulu or something. South Park CC. Yeah, it's this website here. Yeah, full episode. This is just normal. It's their website, so they just give it to you for free. It's not no cheat or whatever, you know. So, yeah, they do it. And that episode is called Sexual Healing. Watch it. You will see what they do with money. How, what you do when you have money with women. What you gonna do with them? You gonna buy PlayStation for them? No. No, no, no. You're trying to have sex, man. And it's very easy to do so. They're not gonna stick around, but you can still fuck them and dog them like the dog that they are. Treat them like the bitch that they are, that they want to be. Look at this guy called Dan Brazilian. If you look at him and you see the females that be around him all the time, I call him Dan Brazilian because he be fucking all them Brazilian chicks. Yeah, sorry for my cousin. Dan Brazilian. I always type his name like that. I don't care what his real name is. I don't want to remember it. I want to remember what I give you. Right. You always see him with females left and right. You're going to see one black female sprinkled in the midst of them at some time, somewhere. You're going to see one, at least one. He fucking them too. But the majority of them, he be fucking them, either my females and the Brazilian females, and you know, he just fucking them. And he just tells you what's going on. You know, look what they're doing. You already know what's going down, man. You already know what's going down, man. And why are they with him? Because he has money. That's the point. You know? Why I have so many different girls in my lifetime. Yeah, go figure. Right, so going back to over here. Let me finish this up. Now it says in Luke 16 and 8, and Yahweh commanded the unjust steward, because he had done wisely. For the children of this world, which are the children of darkness, are in their generation wiser than the children of light. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. They're stupid. They're sottish children. They're stupid. They're very stupid. Israelites are very stupid because they're supposed to be smarter than all that, but they're not. Where is it again? Oh yeah. They're very stubborn too. They really want to be slaves. Is he a servant? Is he a homeborn slave? I was not listening to this song. I heard this song, and this doofus was saying, He's trying to get money to pay his bills. I'm trying to get that money, pay my bills, nigga. I was listening to this guy, and I started laughing. I was like, God damn, these niggas stupid, man. Why don't you try and not you? Where's your man? You have a mentality of paying bills. Why don't you make the bills? Why don't you have a mentality to make bills for them? I'm already thinking of things that I can do to them, man. Y'all want to desire. Heavenly Father willing, I want to make rules, man. That's where my mind is at. Cause I was thinking about this Tupac song on what fuck you wanna be when you grow up, rah rah. Nigga, you shit stupid. I wanna be a motherfucking outlaw. And I was thinking of that. I'm like, damn, your priorities are very low. I'm thinking like, if somebody was to ask me that stupid question, hey, what the fuck you wanna be when you grow up, nigga? Hey, you shit stupid. I wanna be a god. That's what I want to say. I would say that. Of course, I wouldn't be on record, like a rap record, but I am saying this in my mind, so I don't want to be no thug. Nigga, you stupid. I want to be a motherfucking outlaw. What? That's like the lowest form of criminality, you know? At least try to be a kingpin or something. But no, Jakes don't think like that. They be like, I want to pay my bills. I'm looking at you like, you're stupid, man. Why don't you want to be the one that makes the bills, sets up laws and rules? But not in this kingdom. No, we're waiting for the righteous kingdom. Ezekiel chapter 2, verse 3. And he said unto me, Son of man, I sent thee to the children of Israel, to a rebellious nation that had rebelled against me. They and their fathers have trespassed against me, even unto this day. For they are impudent children and stiff hearted. It's impudent. It's disrespectful. Not showing due respect for another person. And stiff hearted. That's like hard headed, like a hard knucklehead. Stubborn. Right? I do send thee unto them, and thou shalt say unto them, Thus saith Yahweh. And they, whether they will hear or whether they will forbid, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you listen or not. You know about me. For they are a rebellious house. Yet, in the end time, when you start dying, yet shall know that there had been a prophet among them. You gonna find out. Because if the Most High send us to these other nations, Ezekiel chapter 3, verse 6. Wait, 5. For thou art not sent to a people of a strange speech, and of a hard language, but to the house of Israel. You see, we are only sent to the house of Israel. Ezekiel was sent to the house of Israel, and so are we sent to the house of Israel. Not to many people of a strange speech, or of a hard language, whose words thou canst not understand. Surely, if I sent thee to them, they would have hearkened unto thee. But the house of Israel will not hearken unto thee, for they will not hearken unto me, the Heavenly Father. For all the house of Israel are impudent and hard-hearted. That's why the Lord said in chapter 2, sorry. He said, but thou son of man, verse 8, but thou son of man, hear what I say unto thee. Be not thou rebellious like that rebellious house of Israel. Open thy mouth and eat that I give thee. And what do we eat? We eat this word. And it's mentioned here also. Chapter 3, verse 2. So I opened my mouth, and he caused me to eat that roll. And that roll is talking about these words, these scriptures. And he said unto me, Son of man, cause thy belly to eat, which is your mind, and fill thy bowels, which is your mind, which is your thought process. Which actually, this is your belly, and of course, this is also your belly, your stomach, right? With this roll that I gave thee, then did I eat, and it was in my mouth as honey for sweetness. But if you swallow it down, it's going to turn into bitterness, because you're gonna start going through some things. You might lose your wife, your job, stuff like that. Those are just things, right? Right. So they are wiser than the children of light. And the children of this world are the children of darkness, and we are the children of light. We have dark skin, different shades of brown, but we are of the light. Warmth, sunlight, daylight. They are so called light skin, but they are the children of dark, cold, moon time, nighttime, darkness. Yeah, right. Right. Yeah, I think I'm done. Right. The I self, one way, other way of understanding, children of darkness, that, and Revelation chapter 3 and 19. No need, then I'm done. Right. Last scripture. 18. Revelation 3 and 18. I counsel thee to buy of me gold tried in the fire, that thou mightest be rich, and white raiment, that thou mightest be clothed with the armor of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. This is the clothing of the Father, which is this truth, which is also mentioned in, for an example, mentioned in Ephesians 6 and 11. Put on the whole armor of the Heavenly Father, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. And then you put the clothing on. And take the helmet, verse 17, and take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of the Heavenly Father. So the word of the Heavenly Father is the whole armor of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Right? Having your loins girt about with the truth, and having a breastplate of righteousness, having on the breastplate of righteousness. You know, you can read it for yourself. And going back to over here, right? It says, and white raiment, that thou mayest be clothed, and that the shame of thy nakedness do not appear. That is when you are without this truth. Then you are basically naked. You have no protection. You don't have the armor of the Heavenly Father. And then they could rape, rob, murder you. They could do anything to you, because you don't understand. See, a wise man is angry because he knoweth he being oppressed. He's angry. He has a defense on. You know, he will not trust you. Okay, Ecclesiastes 7 verse 7. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart. That's why a lot of these rich people, they're not gonna make it, man, because they have this gift, and it pleases them with their enemy. You know, the one that feeds them. You know, so they're not gonna fight them. Right. And anoint thine eyes with eye salve, that thou mayest see. That's what the Heavenly Father will do to his men that he loves. And he will protect those men that have been, and he gave those men unto his son. And then his son protects us. And he sends the angels to protect us. So we're protected on all sides. Yahweh wrote this out, of course. Last one. Daniel chapter 12, verse 1. And at that time shall Michael, the archangel, stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as was never since there was a nation, even to the same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book of life. And if you're not found written in the book of life, you're going into the fire. Goodbye. So with that, I'm going to say, Matthew 25 shows that, by the way. Matthew 25 and 30 on down, if I'm correct. What, 34? 30? Oh, 31. I wanted to say 31, but I said 34. 31 until 34. Yeah, you can read on, but yeah. So with that, I'm going to say Shalom.